have to make it way more than a 7-year veteran who's done a lot of good things. So that's the NFL corrected that, and I think that's kind of along the lines of thinking I want to see what I'm in the perfect world. To me, the guys who are established players are going to get their rewards for being established players here, and everybody's going to get a share, but then there's an opportunity to earn things by merit.
And you've always, obviously your first focus is always retaining the guys that you have and putting the focus on guys that are in the team, but you're picky about the transfer portal, but now with the transfer portal and NIL basically being the same thing at the same time, does it make you more wary of the transfer portal, considering that at times it can almost be free agency?
About it, or, we go into it with a lot of caution. First obvious question is why is the player considering transferring? And that's where it all starts. If in fact the receiver that went to the West Coast, if in fact it's even close to he got what he got, probably everybody on the coaching staff would have gone to maybe outside of the head coach. So if that's the deal, then nobody's going to match that, and why even bother? But yeah, we've always been we just try to really make sure whoever we're bringing in, we have a good reason to think that they're going to fit well with our locker room. Standing there thinking about a guy like Jack Heflin, thinking about a guy like Zach last year. Mackay was not a transfer but he was eligible.
Sure.
So he in effect transferred here. We haven't had a better guy than Mackay join our team in a more. He added to what we're doing. So all three of those guys did. That's more the neighborhood I still think we're looking at instead of going out and trying to get star power.
Mm-hmm. And there's no question that recruiting in general, it's not a squeaky clean thing as most people, I think most people are aware of. But, I guess with schools and with NIL, there's a lot of storylines right now about schools not keeping promises around NIL money. I know it's not a concern for you, but does that, are you worried about the state of college athletics when it comes to that?
I'm laughing. So a couple of things. I'll go back. I was around in the 80s when money was being exchanged in one region of the country, and it blew up. It was really ugly. Mm-hmm. And that team hasn't, that was a Power 5, quote unquote. Yep. There was no Power 5 then. But they still haven't made it back to the Power 5 level, and they were at the top. So, witness that, and I'm sure it goes on. Where we shop and where we go hasn't been an issue. I can't stand here and say I remember that guy got paid. I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
That's really not where we're traveling, so that's the way it goes. But yeah, to your point, it just the NIL thing. A couple observations. I think there are a lot of these startup businesses, quote unquote businesses. I read about a management agent. Guy was trying to set up a marketing deal for a guy, trying to charge 30% from the athlete. That's robbery. That's just flat out. That person should be put in jail, but it's not illegal. So those kinds of things. I just think there's going to be a lot of things that pop up and then fail, and it's going to be really interesting to see what things look like in 2 years, 3 years. Going back to it, I think what Brad's vision for this whole thing is something that is going to be sustainable. It's going to have a solid foundation. I don't think we're going to try to run before we walk. I just think we're probably building it the right way. And he didn't just jump into this. It's been well thought out. They've done a lot of work. Mm-hmm. I can't even imagine how much effort's been put into this already. But they're ready to go. I think Scott and Jane are ready to go. So I'm just appreciative. I'm not sure where Brad came from, how he ended up on campus here this last couple of months. But man, I'm just so appreciative of him taking the initiative.
Sure.
How do you educate